Is in session. Sans John Deal, late scratch. He did not make weight, therefore he has been scratched. No late horse in the race for John Deal. Tony Messenger, lots going on with the world of the death penalty, especially Oklahoma was planning a doubleheader. They botched the first game, so they called off the second game. What are your thoughts?
Well, we wrote an editorial in today's Post-Dispatch that calls on Governor Jay Nixon to do precisely what the government officials are doing in Oklahoma now as a response to their botched execution, which is to step back, find out what went wrong, and take a more serious look at what the protocols are around the death penalty. And even if, unlike me, you believe in the death penalty, I'd like to think that our government officials believe that if they're going to do it, they need to do it right. And the problem with states like Missouri and Oklahoma is that so much of what they do is shrouded in secrecy. And it isn't until something bad goes wrong, and we have had similar things happen in Missouri, as the editorial outlines, that we know that, you know what, they didn't have a backup plan. They didn't have a detailed written protocol, or the protocol that they had, which they keep secret, wasn't good. They didn't have anybody around who could potentially revive the guy after they decided to call off the execution. And I realize that these discussions are difficult because so many people just have a reaction to the death penalty because these killers are really, really bad men. And they're like, yeah, so we heard a little bit. Well, our Constitution, our United States Constitution has protections against that. And if we're going to stand up for the rights of individuals, then we have to be willing to stand up for the rights of individuals under the Constitution, even when they're really, really bad men. And so that's sort of my reaction to this Oklahoma case. Is I hope it's an eye-opener for the nation. I think as a nation, we are moving slowly, very slowly, too slowly, away from using the death penalty. But this should open up people's eyes to the fact that this stuff happens in secret. They don't have a backup plan. They don't have the right drugs. They don't even know that the drugs are going to work. A lot of what they're doing with lethal injection is experimental, and it needs to stop.
Tony, do we know if Missouri is using the same drug concoction that Oklahoma is using?
Missouri is not. Missouri used to use something similar. It's a 3-drug cocktail in which the first drug is supposed to put you to sleep, the second drug is supposed to paralyze you, the third drug kills you. Missouri used to do something similar to that. They don't anymore. In fact, in part because in 1995 they had a similar situation happen to a guy named Emmett Smith. Took him 30 minutes to kill him. What Missouri does now, very recently, is they use pentobarbital. They use one drug, but they won't reveal where they get the drug. It is likely they are getting the drug from a compounding pharmacy, ironically, in Oklahoma. They literally send a guy with a bag of cash from the Department of Corrections to the secret drug dealer to buy their drug. We don't know who's buying it. We don't know how much they have on stock. We don't know if they have enough if something goes wrong. We don't know exactly that this drug is going to work right because Missouri used to use a different drug that the drug companies said, you know what? We don't want our drug used to kill people anymore. So they finally had to stop doing that. The whole process is shrouded in secrecy, and it's a mess.
Well, you know what, though? I mean, I have to disagree with you on the secrecy issue. Doctors.
Well, wait a minute. You disagree with him
on the secrecy issue?
It's secret.
I disagree that I think some of it needs to be in secret. I think they have to have a court review it. I think a court can review it in camera. But I think if the state does not keep this stuff secret, people, death penalty opponents, which, that's what they do, and they will try to, discredit the doctor, go after the doctor. The doctors get death threats. They try to stop the drugs. They try to stop the state from getting the drugs. I mean, the state, at some point has a duty to do what the law has told them to do. So I do believe that there has to be a degree of secrecy or it won't get done. Now, that being said, the court needs to review the process, and all the protocols and all the things that Tony mentioned have to be reviewed by a court. And what I don't understand is, what's the damn hurry? I mean, these people have been on death row for years and years and years. Get it right. Get the protocol. Get it done. get it right. But it seems like we're always in, 95. I don't think the public is screaming out that we're not executing fast enough. Why not, if we got to do this, get it done right? I happen to be in favor of the death penalty. But but we do need to get it right.
Why is it that this? And I don't mean this as a
They
joke.
don't want to look soft on crime.
No, I don't mean this question as a joke. But you've been in the room.
I have.
You've been in the governor's
It's awful.
office. The point is, the county can euthanize 50,000 dogs using some drug that humanely puts a dog down.
And we can't get that done.
We
right.
can't use that same drug
well,
for a human.
and that's part of the deal. I mean, you do have drug companies now. And it's their right, but you have drug companies now saying we're not going to let people use our drugs, and and the opponents in all kinds of sectors are sort of doing what they can to stop the death penalty, and so that's why we have some of this problem. I mean, not all of this was created by the governor or the state. I mean, there's a lot of factors going on here, but I do maintain that get it done, get it right, get it through the courts, and then you can go back to executing on schedule. But I just feel like we're barreling through. Not sure whether we have a plan B, not sure whether we're going to have an Oklahoma situation, and I think we can do more on the front end.
John Deal not here because he's trying to find a Democrat to override the tax cut veto by the governor.
Yep.
We'll come back and talk about that. Tony Messenger, editorial page editor of the St. Louis Post-Dispatch. Jane Duker, former chief of staff of Governor Holden. That's the board meeting. We're in session. Big 550 KTRS.